Podcasting from the Lower East Side of Manhattan, right by South Street Seaport. This is the Brooklyn Baritone Podcast. Hey everyone, good morning. Good morning for me, good morning to you, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good late at night, whenever you choose to listen to this. I always appreciate the likes, the looks, the listens, and of course I would appreciate you hitting the subscribe and notification bell on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone, but no pressure, do that if you want to. I guess for the people who are listening to the audio version, you may hear the waves crashing in back. No, I'm not in a Caribbean getaway again, but I am by the water, as New York is a coastal city, coastal state. I'm over here, if you can see it on in the back of me, that's the Brooklyn Bridge behind me. I'm trying to work out this camera I got. I'm trying not to let the sun get in here and interfere with it, but you know, it's kind of bleached out. I'm still working on it. Anyways, I want to talk to you guys about deinstitutionalizing yourselves. This is kind of like a follow-up or piggyback or in response to one of my past podcasts of unlearn what you have learned. When you think about everything that we are in a society, we think of everything that we've learned, especially in school, academia. There's so much things that has basically geared us, groomed us, pushed us to be 9-to-5ers. It's good for people to be productive, but how are you productive? Now, of course, I've given this a whole lot of thought, thinking to myself in the bathroom, in the car, at work, walking about the place. Like, you know what? One of the biggest issues is that people don't know how to think outside of the box. You hear that all the time, but how much people actually know what that means, what that entails of? The box, think of how you learn regular, everyday things, school, how to be in society, how to show up for work, what you should do, what's proper etiquette with certain things as inside the box. And unfortunately, that box was created by systems of man. You know, I'm always going to have comparisons with the systems of man and the system of Elohim, our creator. So now, the box basically has majority of us prepped and primed to be 9-to-5 workers. It's good to produce, especially income, or just produce some kind of work with your hands. I'm not debating that, but it all depends on how you're doing that. So now we have to look at how we think. We don't think really of promoting proper solutions. Everything that we see, all the inventions, all the structures, infrastructures, the products we use is based off someone thinking, hey, we could use that. We could use an automobile. Now we have the automobile. We could use windshield wipers. We could use rear mirrors. We could use seat belts. We could use adjustable seat belts. We could use softer seats. How I'm recording this on this camera, someone figured, hey, we could find a way to capture an image. Now we can try to figure out a way how we capture high quality images. Now we can capture actually video. Now we have to put sound to that video. We get where I'm going with this basically. It's not just for people who just wake up and just go to work and just accept everything for as it is. Because unfortunately, with many people who are in control of things or seek to be in control of things, they require people to always be in the working class. They don't want people to think a certain way. They don't want people to think outside the box unless it's going to directly benefit them. No, we have to use our God-given intellect to try to improve everything and everyone around us. Look past our own wants, our own needs, and look at the greater need for everyone else. How would people be improved with what we have to bring to the table? Not just us being the best business person out there, us being the best worker out there so we can get that employee of the month consistently, constantly. Not just you always trying to get that promotion inside that organization. How are you promoting what you have to everyone else? That's the key right there. And the unfortunate damaging thing is that when you couple that, well, if you just have people who are just oppressed with that kind of way of thinking, there's always being a worker bee and nothing more, it's going to backfire. You know, it may take some years, may take some decades, may take some centuries, but people are going to get irritated because they're not living in the fullest capacity to how our Creator put us here for. But especially when you couple that with now a very aggressive and accelerated consumerist society like we have here in America, we have people now who are only used to buying everything that's new. We want it newer, we want it faster, we want it better. So now it's like, okay, I see a lot of celebs, a lot of people who are high up on the food chain financially. They're able to afford all these things. We have things affordable to us too, but then we're having things more and more produced and pushed in our faces. Wait a second, I want to be able to live that life too. I want to be able to get all the nicer things too. So that institutionalized mindset of just being groomed to be a 9-to-5er. Pick a career, not pick a passion, not identify what you're good at, what your strengths are. Pick a career so you can always work for someone else. And again, as a disclaimer again, there's times where you will have to be part of an organization to learn. This is how things are structured. You learn about yourself, about how the world works, and what actually works out there for the world for everyone out there. So, wait a second, I want to do more than just be a worker bee because I'm not making enough. You live in certain places, especially this city right here is so blasted expensive. You're not making enough to make ends meet. And then we're stuck smack dab in a consumerist mindset and society. That's going to make things backfire even more. People get more agitated, but then people are going to get agitated with a system of man and then try to make more systems of man in their mind to try and compensate for it. This is why you need direction with the Creator. Now, how do you get in tune with the Creator so you can make the most of this life? So you can make the most of your career, make the most of your time on this earth? Well, the best way to start, which a lot of people may want to stray away from, is I got you. Look in the book, look in the Bible. Fortunately, there are a lot of people out there, especially on YouTube or the people that's out there in the world, that do a great, fantastic job of conveying the message that the Father has. But unfortunately, this is where you're going to have to start studying yourself, is that you're going to have to start separating the wheat from the tare. That's a biblical reference, where you now have to start separating what actually is good from what may look good, but actually is not good. How do you do that? Again, I got you. You're going to have to start studying. Just like you study for anything else. A lot of you dudes out there, you study all the lyrics from all these rappers out here, but these dudes, they don't care about you. They're not really fattening your pockets. They're not promoting a better life for you. Study that. You can study the book. We have an intellect. It don't matter what your educational level is. You go ahead and start studying ways to improve yourself. And when you start looking at the book, you start to understand the character of our Creator, then you understand our character, where we're supposed to be. So you could always use that as a reference point to see if anyone is really about that life as far as promoting what the Father Yeshua wants for us, or you can see if anyone's really fugazi or not. I guarantee you start studying properly. Forget everything else, what everyone else is doing. You study that book, you will break out of that mindset of being institutionalized. You will break out of that mindset of wanting to be stuck in consumerism. You will break out of that mindset of having that regular 9-to-5 mindset, and you know that I have good ideas. What's the difference of having good ideas and actually being someone to make the changes is actually acting upon it. It's not enough just to think about it. It's great to think about it. Great people think about great things. But then now you have to put the pedal to the metal and put that into fruition and make it tangible. Anyways, that's all I got today. You can catch the rest of my content on my website at www.brooklynbaritone.com. You can catch also more of my content on my YouTube channel, Brooklyn Baritone. I am also on LinkedIn under Corey Ashley. You can also find me on Instagram and on Facebook. You can find the audio versions of this podcast on Google Podcasts, Apple iTunes Podcast, and Amazon Music under Podcast. I also broadcast 4 times a week on local Brooklyn cable television. That is on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12 a.m. and 2 p.m. And I'm on Verizon, RCN, Spectrum, and Optimum. Anyways, thank you guys for listening and watching. I appreciate the support as always. I want you guys to walk good, be blessed. You will hear from me next week. I'm out.